You know that means you suck.
Yep, I can read too.
Since when?
You like the new background? What is up, S'mores? Welcome back to my channel. It's Marshmallow Sketches here, or Maddie if you know me personally, which in that case, I'm very sorry. Today is actually very exciting for me because I'm starting a series of sorts where I will be discussing a bunch of characters across all kinds of different movies and TV shows that I think are neurodivergent, explaining why, and with this, I hope to spread awareness and to normalize neurodivergent characters in media, because that's super important to me as a neurodivergent person myself. It is super important to me to spread awareness about that kind of thing. So with that out of the way, let's begin episode 1, Robin Buckley. A quick little disclaimer, I am of course not a professional. I study neuroscience and stuff, and like I love psychology and I love studying neuroscience and neurodiversity, and it's really beautiful to me to learn all these things, but I am not a professional. Of course, I am neurodivergent, so of course I have that frame of reference, but please take everything I say with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, this is really just a video to talk about why I believe that she's neurodivergent. Part 1, Season 3.
Hey, Dingus, your children are here.
Something I immediately took notice of while watching the show was that Robin exhibited a lot of neurodivergent traits even in her first few episodes. Some of the signs that I saw in Season 3 were impulsivity, hyperfixations, and scattered hobbies and talents, and the fact that she says that she has like an ear for it and that she's good at recognizing languages and different musical things. Like when I saw that, I was like, that's literally me. Same. Like the amount of scattered hobbies and the fixations that she gets on the things going on in the show, but just the fixations that she gets on other things in general. It's just really fascinating to me, and I really saw my hyperfixations within Robin, just in general. Bluntness and honesty with the lack of a filter of what she's saying. Creativity, like for example, she draws on her shoes, she adds patches and to her clothes, and she always seems like she's super hyper, but when something happens, it's like she's talking a million miles a minute. She really seems to express herself in the clothes that she wears in like a comfortable manner. Her clothes are comfortable, oversized, and kind of random, and she doesn't seem to complain about the uniform, which implies that it doesn't bother her that she has to wear the same thing every day, something that I personally can relate to, and I get super hyperfixated on certain clothes, so it makes total sense that familiarity and wearing the same thing every day wouldn't bother her too much because it's familiar and it's comfortable. Her hair is very messy, implying that she doesn't brush it. A lot of neurodivergent people have a difficult time with basic hygiene, like brushing your hair and your teeth and taking showers and even like eating and drinking water and stuff. Those types of things are really hard for us. And so seeing that Robin has messy hair kind of implies that it's difficult for her too to do those things, which could of course be a trait of her being neurodivergent.
It was insane.
Robin,
Yeah?
you're not helping.
I'm sorry.
Part 2, Season 4.
But I'm having this problem where it's like I should stop talking. I have said everything I need to say, but then I guess I get nervous and the words they keep spilling out, and it's like my brain is moving faster than my mouth, or rather my mouth is moving faster than my brain, and it's like I'm digging this hole for myself, and I want to stop digging, and I'm trying to stop digging, but I can't, and I'm doing it right now, aren't I?
Some of the traits that she showed include she's self-aware of how her traits could be annoying, but little to no social awareness, if that makes sense. She shows signs of having RSD, which is rejection sensitivity dysphoria, which is very common with people who are neurodivergent. But she seems to show signs of having RSD with her obsessive asking if she's being mean or annoying with Nancy.
Mommy! Sorry, we're in a bit of a rush. Could we get the keys to the basement archives? Did I come off mean or condescending or something? No. Right. Sorry. It's just you seem annoyed.
She seems to care about what other people think of her, and she also seems to care what people think about what she's doing and what behavior she's exhibiting. She rambles a lot. Her mind is always going a million miles a minute. She even talks about what that feels like, which felt very close to home for me. So I just noticed that she rambles a lot with like all kinds of people, but especially with people that she's more comfortable around. She's a very quick thinker. She comes up with a story for that professor about a camp and some kid named Petey, and she comes up with it very quickly and on the spot, which implies that she's good at like lying, which I thought was very interesting because that's very common with neurodivergent people, especially people who mask a lot. When she's talking to Vicky in Season 4, Volume 1, and she's talking about how she used to have a massive crush on someone, and then she fixes what she says so that it sounds different. She was very quick about it, and she shifted really quickly, implying that she's very good at masking. Her jacket is covered in patches that she sewed on, confirmed in a video/interview with the costume designer, whom I've talked about a lot on this channel. She fixates on things like when Nancy says that she isn't annoyed, but Robin fixated on it because she's she's convinced that Nancy is annoyed at her, and she can see that Nancy is appearing annoyed, and she's very unfiltered about it. She keeps asking questions. She keeps obsessing over it. She doesn't have a strong grasp on social cues, and she's very aware of this. She even says that she has a very low grasp of social cues. She has a very big imagination and easily pieces together patterns and these mental connections that she has. Like, she immediately pieces together that when Dustin says Watergate, he's referring to the gate that's in water. When Nancy, Eddie, and Steve did not make that connection, they were very confused as to what he meant, but then she was like, oh, that's what he means. She makes these connections in her head, and she's a very quick thinker in piecing these things together. She says herself that she developed slower than the other babies, and she walked and talked slower than her peers. She paces a lot while talking, and she's constantly on the move. When in new environments, she touches like everything in the library and in Nancy's bedroom. She touches everything and picks a bunch of stuff up. She has like extreme sensory overload while wearing Nancy's clothes and very exaggerated expressions about how she's feeling, like I'm dying or like I'm being strangled, things like that. These things that she's saying, they're obviously exaggerated, but it's how she feels, and she's using very big words to describe how she's feeling in those moments, and she seems very overstimulated by these clothes that she's wearing. She knows a lot about rabies, implying that she's fallen down rabbit holes before, and implying that she may have hypochondriac tendencies, like Googling everything about rabies or other diseases and illnesses and things. These are all things that I noticed and felt the need to point out, and if I missed anything, or if you feel like I missed anything, please let me know in the comments below, because I would love to know if you saw certain traits that I didn't mention. But yeah, now let's discuss what I like to call the unmask. Part 3, the unmask. A lot of people, including myself, noticed that Robin's behavior implied that she was not neurotypical, but a lot of people also noticed that her personality shift from season 3 to season 4 also made this abundantly clear. In season 4, she is more emotionally open, she rambles more, she is more social, and she appears more comfortable, especially around Steve, whom she clearly trusts. This heavily implies that if she is neurodivergent, this shift really implies that she started to mask less when she felt more comfortable in season 4. Obviously, months have passed, and with that comes character development, but I do think this shift is a great example of unmasking around people you feel safe around. Even within season 4, she seems more open around people in general, which happened to me during my freshman and sophomore years in high school. In season 4, I think she unmasks around Nancy and starts becoming more emotionally vulnerable around her friends in general, but especially Nancy and especially Steve. She just seems more emotionally open, and she seems more herself this season. She seems more comfortable this season, which in my eyes looks a lot like unmasking around those people that you feel safe around, which again happened to me, especially in my freshman year of high school. When I started to get to know people, I started unmasking more and more, and I know that that's an experience that a lot of neurodivergent maskers have. And so I really saw that within Robin. Is it ADHD or is it autism? I am not a psychiatrist. I am just a neurodivergent person who sees herself in her favorite characters. And at the end of the day, autistic and allistic people will continue to see themselves in characters like Robin, so it doesn't really matter if she has ADHD or autism, because it's very clear to a lot of people that she's probably neurodivergent. But with all that being said, in my opinion, Robin has ADHD. With her hyperactivity, random interests, hobbies, social habits, and just my perspective as a person with ADHD in general, I believe she has ADHD. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something about neurodivergence and ADHD and ASD. And if you are neurodivergent, I hope this made you feel as seen as it made me feel looking at Robin through this lens, and even writing this script, looking at this list of traits that she exhibited and just feeling like she was like me. It just made me feel so unbelievably heard. And so I hope that other people feel the same when looking at their favorite characters like Robin. Have a lovely day, and I hope I will see you all soon. Comment below if there's any characters you headcanon as being neurodivergent, and let me know if there's any characters you'd like me to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. I'm so unbelievably thankful for each and every one of you, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!